Hey folks, welcome to the December 12, 2023 Kubernetes SIG Docs meeting. I'm your host today. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm one of your co-chairs. My name is Ray Lojano. Natalie on the call is also one of the other co-chairs, and Debbie, who is not on the call, who's a third co-chair of Kubernetes SIG Docs. A few housekeeping items before we start. This meeting does abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct. That boils down to be nice to everyone. And this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube shortly after the meeting. So if you don't want to share your video feed, please turn it off. On the screen, I'm sharing my screen here with today's agenda for Kubernetes SIG Docs. This is a bi-weekly meeting here, and we like to start off with welcoming any new contributors. So if there's any new contributors that would like to come off mute and introduce themselves and say hello.
Hi, my name's Cassandra. This is my very first meeting with any Kubernetes working group, and I picked Docs because you folks seem like a very friendly bunch, and you had incredibly beautiful, detailed, helpful onboarding instructions, which I love. So I intend to attend lots of different working group meetings and just kind of looking to find my place here.
Awesome. Welcome, Cassandra. All right, I see Ali's hand up. So Ali.
Well, hello everyone and welcome, Cassandra. Well, again, hello everyone. My name is Ali. It's also my first SIG Docs meeting, but I am coming over from the localization subgroup. Just the same story as Cassandra. I attended KubeCon recently for the first time ever, and I thought, oh wow, this is so cool. I want to get involved. What better way to start with translating into a language I know? So I'm hoping to contribute to the Arabic localization project, and I thought I'd come here and say hello to everyone and just get to grips with how things are run. So
Nice.
Thank you, and well, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, and welcome board. Welcome to the meeting. I also see Riedrich Karp with your hand up.
Hello there, I'm Rudraksh. This is my very first SIG Talks meeting. I have been attending SIG release meetings since last 2-3 months and been contributing to Kubernetes. Recently got my first PR merged. My background is I have worked in KDE community and Python Software Foundation, and currently exploring Kubernetes, and this landscape looks pretty interesting to me, and I would love to contribute to. There is one PR assigned to me I would like to discuss further. Thanks for having me.
All right, welcome. All right, just going through the participants list, see if there's any more hands up. Don't see any more hands up here. All right, so let's.
I can do a quick intro.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Ray. I've been with the SIG Docs for maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm just not very active in participating in the SIG Docs meeting. I didn't see my name in the agenda docs. I was used to be very active before pandemic. Now I think it could be a good return for me.
Nice.
I'm also the owner of the SIG Docs Chinese translation team. Good to see everyone.
All right. Well, thank you for your work and for the localizing the documentation in Chinese, and welcome back. All right. Last call. Anyone else who would like to introduce themselves? All right. Let's move on. This week's PR Wrangler is me, Ray Lojano. So if you have any PRs that you want to have reviewed, please reach out to me. I do know that we are our K website repo is still frozen, so it'll be frozen until tomorrow, typically for the 129 release. So any PRs that you might have LGTM and approved labels, if you don't see a merge, it's because the repo is frozen still. Next week's PR Wrangler is Karen Bradshaw, and the following 2 weeks after next week, we do not have a PR Wrangler, so there's no PR Wrangler assigned for the holidays. So that's for the last 2 weeks of the calendar year. Anyway, the PR Wrangler shift, there's a link to the schedule. Also, the 2024 schedule is up as well. So that's also a topic I see later on. Anyway, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And one more reminder, if you notice any code of conduct violations to meetings, to events in person or Slack, please reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee, and you could do this anonymously as well. And there's an email on this on the agenda at conduct@kubernetes.io. All right, let's go on to the agenda. So we typically start with the release update. So let's start off with the release 129, which is scheduled to release tomorrow, or now scheduled to release tomorrow. So I see the comms team update here. So Kristen, are you on the call?
Yes. So yeah, I just there was a little confusion with the release blog. I was looking at the PR from Carol. I thought there was still an approval needed from Priyanka, but Carol, you can confirm that it was merged. Is that correct?
The pull request is with the label of approved, but we are blocked because we need to merge the documentation first, finish the release before to merge. It's blocked. The
Yeah,
name.
still frozen.
Yeah, frozen. Yeah, that's
I may have been looking at your PR, Carol. So that might be where the confusion came in. Otherwise, the feature blogs, those all have the LGTM from Tim. One has a failing build. It's one of the last ones that's on scheduled to be published. I've linked to it there. I didn't investigate too carefully what's going on there, but certainly I can do that. And then there's an additional feature blog that is going to be mirrored on the contributor site, and Tim had put it out there for the blog author to choose whether the blog team would make the sort of dual, combine the PR or not. And so the author did choose that option too, and I've linked to the comment there to have them do it on their behalf, the blog author's behalf. So that's where we're at.
Okay. I will manually do the rebuild on Netlify for that feature blog you pointed out, and it won't update the check on the pull request, but I will make a comment if the build has succeeded on that. The only way it will retrigger the check on GitHub is that if the author pushes an empty commit or appends the commit, and that will retrigger the check and update it on the pull request. So I'll do it manually, and I will update what's the status after that.
Thank you so much.
Quick question on that, just in terms of the process. I've seen the empty commit before. I can't remember. Does that also wipe off the approve and LGTM for an empty commit, or because it's empty, it will keep it?
It won't wipe off the approve.
Okay.
LGTM might be wiped off.
Okay.
Usually when you push an empty commit, when you push initial commit, it will wipe off the LGTM.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Just for, I agree. I think doing the manual retrigger is the answer here, but I was just curious for other situations. Thank you.
All right.
For anyone who's curious, we do have a long-standing issue out there for folks who have deep, excellent Netlify and JavaScript experience to help us debug that specific issue. We are constantly doing workarounds around the failed checks. So just putting out that if anyone is interested to hear about that, contact myself or Ray.
Cool. Thanks, Sally. All right. I don't see an update from the docs team, but I do see a few docs members here. Would you like to give an update?
I could probably give an update since I was working with Kat this morning. Update being Kat and myself, we built the new Netlify site based on the current release branch this morning, and froze the website this morning as well. So the idea would be that Kat is currently on a plane, and as I'm sure Kat's docs teams is aware, and once she lands and is kind of settled, the rest of whatever work is required can kind of be done. But really the Netlify site's been built and the docs site has been frozen. Okay. Everything else is all up to date, including the branch sync, completely green for docs.
All right, so that's the release 128 site. Is that correct for the Netlify site that's been built?
The 128, correct.
Yep. All right. All right, sounds like everything is on schedule for tomorrow's release. So it should be available as well if Doc's team needs help for tomorrow with release. So feel free to reach out. All right, moving on to there's no other comments or questions for the release 129 comms or Docs team. Moving on to issues and PRs. It's empty right now, but if there's any issues and PRs anyone would like to bring up, please feel free to go on off mute. All right, let's move on. Moving on to our questions and discussion topics. One is from Natalie about the PR Wrangler for 2024 is now live.
Yeah,
And
and then my computer did the whole thumbs up for me. So yes, it's live. So PR Wranglers, please check the 2024 schedule. I say this for myself and Tim, who is one of our tech leads. We are the first two people on the agenda for the new year. So for the first 2 weeks, it will be Tim and then myself. Yeah, that Wrangler schedule has been updated. We're currently in the process of, I'll be chatting to Mikey Boxall, who was a former Docs lead, who is interested in becoming a reviewer and approver for Docs. And given his heightened elevated permissions as a Docs lead is still there, we're popping him onto the PR Wrangler shifts as of May to give him some time to ramp up to speed and give us a couple more, or an extra person at least to do some more wrangling. I'm still waiting to hear from Anna Young if she's going to continue wrangling. So there may be a slight change, but the first couple of months should still be generally okay for 2024.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie. All right, that is the end of the questions and discussion topics. We'd like to open up the meeting for anyone for any topics anyone wants to bring up.
Yeah, I got a quick one here. Thanks, folks, again for having us. In the localization, I guess, subgroup meeting, we talked a little bit about the possibility of opening up a new branch for Arabic development. So I just wanted to, I suppose, ask a question. I just wanted to learn how are those branches managed? Is that something that, if we're able to put together a team for localization, are we responsible for creating, deleting, merging our branches? Is there someone who will be supervising or doing that wrangling on our behalf? How does that work? I'd love to just learn more.
Yeah. So usually one of the co-chairs or tech leads will create the branch for you because we do have those permissions to create the branch, and that will be your development branch to work off from. Any upkeep of that branch will be done by, you need to have at least 3 approvers or reviewers for the localization, so that there are folks that are able to review PRs with one approver doing LGTM, one approver being to provide the approved label as well. And we do actually have this document as well on the branch on how we create the localization branch for development as well. So I could post that in the Slack channel.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. I'll go take a look at that.
Yeah, just to jump on that a bit. I don't actually, based on my knowledge, there is no special rules for the branching naming conventions. You just like fork the repo and then you put PR to the default branch, which is the main branch, and then the approval and the review as well looks good to me as well as the approval process, and then that should be it.
Yep.
So just to be sure, so what we're doing right now is we're opening up draft pull requests against the main branch, and what I think the idea was, we'll just collect a bunch of work, and then hopefully when there's an Arabic development branch, we'll start merging into that. That's what we're hoping to do.
All work should be done against the development branch, not the main branch, and unless the localization is live, then it could be done to the main branch. But if it's currently in development, then it will go into the development branch first.
Got it.
Oh, so for any new language, should be firstly PR to the developer branch, and then once it's live, it goes to main branch. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right, thank you.
I also want to mention, Ali, as well. When just want to double check, I'm sure this was mentioned in the localization meeting, but when you said a bunch of work, we do have a minimum set of documentation required to be localized first. Just want to make sure that you and the folks that you're working with are aware of those.
Yes, for sure. Yes, thank you,
Okay,
Natalie.
great. No worries.
We pulled the list down and we're just working through it right now.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely also one of those things where this is somewhat of a newish part of the requirements, but given that you need 2 to 3, we prefer 3 owners of the localization to be able to review and work on the work that you're doing. Often you may not already be Kubernetes org members, so a lot of the draft work that you'll be doing can actually contribute to that org membership. So starting now on the drafts for the minimum content is super worthwhile, so that you can then become the owners with the permissions you need to then have the branch opened and start working on the branch. Gotcha.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's somewhat new, but we in Docs understand that, and the Kubernetes project understands that there's so much work to even begin a localization, and many contributors just want to work in the language that they fluently speak. So may as well kind of make them org members based on a lot of the work that happens in the contribution in that language. And so we've been able to create org membership based on draft PRs as well, but you'll need, more than a couple for that to take place. So yeah.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. I appreciate the information. Thank you.
No problem at all. And feel free to utilize the localization channels or the SIG Docs channel for the questions that you might have after this.
Right. Sounds good.
Right. Any other topics, issues, or PRs? I see hands up from Rudrakash. Sorry if I mispronounced that, her name.
Yeah, it's almost correct. I'm Rudraksh actually. So I would like to discuss a PR that I'll just drop here in chats. So documenting package repositories. So I wanted to know a bit more about package repositories and particular standards which you guys would like to follow me to just raise a pull request for this one. Could you please guide me on this part?
Let me pull it up here.
Yes, please.
Oops.
Sorry, my bad. It looks like I actually dropped. Yeah, this one, second one.
Okay. So we do have official package repositories. So I'm trying to take a look at this issue here. Are you familiar where the official package repositories are? If not, you could ask just to confirm, so you could update this page. You could ask either in SIG release or the SIG release Slack channel or on this issue as well. But SIG release could also confirm the official package repositories to update.
All right. Anything else particular standards that you guys would like me to maintain while documenting that particular thing?
Could we repeat that one more time?
I wanted to ask that should I follow any documentation standards? Like, can you please drop me a link?
We have a content guide, or we have a style guide and content guide here. So if you look up style guide, content guide, so those are standards for the website.
All right.
And take a look to see. Okay, so these are updated. And I will just confirm with SIG release which ones needs to be updated as well. Looks like these have been updated more or less in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, still the PR is open, so I guess there should be some improvement is required. So I'll look into it and raise a PR as soon as possible.
All right, sounds good.
Apart from that, I have a question that I'm looking forward to applying to SIG release shadow in Docs shadow. So can you please tell me like what would be the requirements for a credible applicant? So how should I?
So there's no requirements,
I
but
talk to?
that is more of a SIG release question, though. So not exactly the scope of SIG docs. But there's, if you take a look at the GitHub Kubernetes SIG release, and if you go to release team, then you could read up on some of the selection on the process as well. And for any questions, you would add it or put them in the SIG release channel. So you go to Kubernetes SIG release and take a look at the SIG release team selection. It's a good place to start.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right, there's a question from Carol about how can we improve the index in Google search, for example, the blog release. I'll take a look in that. I don't know exactly what the answer one. How do we improve the the search index? But it's a good question.
Yeah, I've received these questions in the SIG release that maybe our blogs can be better indexed in the research because it's very important. And yeah, it was a question that I would like to help. I would like some help.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look into that. I don't know the exact answer on the Kubernetes.io side.
Yeah, actually, I also wonder if that's something that like is just something that nobody owns necessarily, and if that should come into docs too. It's a really good question to figure out.
Yeah. I'll point out should be in the sitemap as well.
Yeah, I just did a quick check. I think it need some update.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a look into this.
Is that
all right?
Is that an auto updated XML map, or is that?
This I'm not sure. I would have to take a look. It looks like it's that last. It is auto updated. It looks like last mod.
It looks like it's auto built, yeah. But we can with Hugo, we're able to shift what is actually put in there, I believe, too. So that could be interesting. Cool.
All right. Any more topics or questions?
Sorry, yes, one more thing I forgot to mention. Sorry, Ray. So folks, today is the 12th of December, and the release is getting cut today/tomorrow. But given that we're so close to the end of year season break, we do have technically one more meeting scheduled for this bi-weekly meeting, as well as an APAC friendly timed meeting. But we wanted to let you all know that we've kind of made the decision to just cancel those two meetings and give everyone a prolonged break for the rest of the year. And that will get started again in the new year for both the SIG Docs bi-weekly meeting as well as the APAC friendly time, which is the last Wednesday or the fourth Wednesday of every month. The localizations, they also only happen once a month, those meetings, and the December meeting has already taken place. So the localization sub-project meeting will still happen usually in January, but wanted to let everybody know here that there'll be notices going out very soon this evening to cancel the two remaining meetings for SIG Docs for the year.
All right, that sounds great. As most people will be on holiday for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the year anyway, so this makes sense. All right. Well, I think that's it. I want to tell everyone thank you very much, and have a good holiday if you celebrate any holidays at the end of the year. And we'll see you next year in 2024. I'm going to stop the recording right now.